convinced the emperor to try on these clothes. So you imagine going through the motion, putting on the pins. I'm not gonna go through all of that. You don't need no props for that. Glory to God. But they had him putting on all of his clothes, you know, making him think that these clothes were invisible. These clothes were invisible. Well, they were clothes to him in his mind. Okay. So this emperor, you know, put on these invisible clothes, and nothing could tell him that they would that those clothes were invisible, that they wasn't real. Nothing he couldn't think in his mind that he didn't have no clothes on. How does one get to that point in their life? We're gonna get into it for a couple of seconds here in a few minutes. So as you know, the story would go, you know, he's the emperor now. You know, nobody wants to upset him, you know, because we're living in a time where folks don't want, you know, some folks don't want to rock the boat. We're living in a time where people don't want to say the truth about something. They rather have you believe a lie than to believe the truth. Timothy wrote and said this, and God reminded me of this morning. Glory be to God, that in the last days, men shall not endure sound doctrine. In other words, they don't want to hear the truth anymore. They rather go against fables and lies. They rather hear these things than to hear about what God has to say in the truth. So that's how he got those invisible clothes on. That's how he was able to walk around with clothes so he think they were clothes. That's how he was able to walk around with no clothes. So you know the story. You know, nobody would tell him that he was naked. Nobody would tell him. Nobody would tell him. So you know, every time he said, "Hey, how do I look?" "You look good, King. Look all right. Look all right." Nobody would tell him that he was naked. Nobody would tell him that he was exposing himself. Nobody would tell him that they were always afraid. He want to upset him because he all proud of his